Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery here. We get together most weekday mornings at 8 o'clock Central, talk about strategies, tips, techniques, share success stories. Our morning Zooms, this Zoom is really built around our distribution partners. Now, secondly, we have other Zooms that are held throughout the day that are for potential participants. So we're very transparent. Whomever you are, you're welcome to be on this morning or listen to the recording thereafter. But just keep in mind, we have two stakeholders. We have distribution partners who have a passion, a desire to help others with financial literacy and accessing capital, and they get paid really well for that. And then secondly, we have those clients that are looking for funding to start or grow. That's a different set of Zooms. But regardless, let's go ahead and get started today. We're going to have a little bit of a debate together, a friendly debate. And I'm going to present to you that all of you, we have 316 of you on this morning. I believe every one of you, all 316, should form a 501c3 nonprofit today. So, Mr. Phelan, with your hand still up, you can type the question in. I think you should go form a 501c3 nonprofit today. Mr. Robinson, Ms. Barnes, Mr. Ryans, again, got hundreds of you. I think everyone should. So what we're going to do is drill into what I think is some common misunderstandings or just lack of knowledge that keeps people from forming an NGO. Who can tell me what an NGO is? Type it into the Q&A. What is an N? Is it N as in Nancy, G as in George, O as in Oscar? What is an NGO? And if you don't know this, you should. And once you learn it, you'll probably follow my advice and we'll be forming a 501c3. Greg's got it. Claude's got it. A non-government organization, an NGO, sounds kind of harmless, carries a lot of power. And a lot of what we do with credit work is based around being an NGO. An NGO has the ability to help clients remove derogatory items off of their credit in 4 days. NGOs. So think about that. If you're not familiar with what an NGO is, we're going to dig into it. An NGO, non-government organization, is an example of a 501c3. So let's go ahead and drill into some common misunderstandings. Well, let's start though. What is a common misunderstanding that you think people have about nonprofits? Why Eric and Claude and Glenn and Jeanette, Joseph, got a lot of bright minds on here. Romeo, what do you think is a reason or an issue that people wrongly understand so they don't go out and form a nonprofit? Because even if you want a for-profit as a parallel company, I'm not saying you shouldn't also have a for-profit company. That's not my message. My message is you should absolutely have a 501c3. And I'll show you some economic reasons that I think will change your decision making. All right, well, let's go ahead and we'll go through my reasons and we'll review what you all are typing in. First of all, there's some misunderstanding that, well, I can't be paid if I'm a CEO. Why would I work for free? Well, true. The purpose of a nonprofit, it's mission-based. It's not profit-based. But you're wrong. No offense. You're wrong. You're way wrong if you think you cannot be paid as the CEO of a nonprofit. Look it up if you don't believe me. Craig Thompson, according to my research, is the top paid nonprofit CEO, and he makes over $8 million a year. $8 million a year running a nonprofit, legally and ethically. We're not here to talk about how to game the system, how to be clever, how to outwit the IRS. No, sir. No, ma'am. We're talking about legitimacy. So don't tell me that, oh, I don't want to run a nonprofit because I can't make money. I call bullshit on it. Craig makes 8 million. Jason makes 6.8 million. You want to know something interesting? These two work for the same nonprofit. One is the CEO, one is the COO. But these two work for the same nonprofit organization. Between the two of them, they're pulling down almost 15 million a year. And you're telling me, oh, I can't get paid if I run a nonprofit. It's bullshit. It's not true. Nancy runs the American Red Cross, little outfit you might have heard about, 4.1 million. Most nonprofit CEOs that know what they're doing, of course, there's always going to be strugglers or stragglers, but in general, they set themselves up as a salary of typically $20,000 to $25,000 a month. They pay themselves direct deposit every Friday out of the nonprofit's account into their personal account, W-2 employee direct deposit with full benefits. So right now, we've got to dispel this myth that, oh, I don't want to run a nonprofit because I can't get paid. Bullshit. I don't know about you, and it's none of my business, but I would wonder how many of you right now, as you look at 2024, which is about to come to an end, how many of you made $250,000 this year? And if you didn't make at least $250,000, I think you might want to be more open to this strategy. Let's go on. Well, first, any comments or concerns on this? Carrie says the NFL is a nonprofit. Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of organizations that are actually nonprofit in status that you wouldn't realize. Any concerns or questions on this common misunderstanding? Okay, let's move on. Number two, oh, it's so hard to form a nonprofit. I wouldn't know how to do that. It's expensive. It takes a long time. I call BS on that. That's not true. We can help you form a nonprofit organization, and we'll talk about implementation in a minute. That is not true. This is not true. This is not true. Third, oh, well, a nonprofit can't make any money. Now we got to be careful of the labels we use, because if your argument was, well, a nonprofit can't make a profit, well, I guess that's technically true, but we need to change our vocabulary. This one nonprofit that's paying Craig and Jason almost 15 million a year, you don't think that they have money coming in? Of course. You don't think the American Red Cross that's paying Nancy over 4 million a year has money coming in? Of course it does. How else would these people make the money, right? It's not magic. So you're wrong. Now, how the money is managed and how excess revenue is distributed is different. But I'm going to help you overcome. Well, let's just dig into that. So let's run an example, and I'm going to create some space here, and let's talk about it. So let's take Bill. Bill's a big hitter. He's on the training today. So let's say Bill starts Bill's nonprofit. So let's say that Bill pulls down the normal $250,000 salary. He's not greedy. He's earning what he deserves, maybe a little less. But the question would be, okay, well, let's say that there's extra money left over in the nonprofit. Can Bill just go in and cash this out and say, oh, I deserve a bonus? No, because he's inuring himself. Essentially, he's taking personal benefit of the success of the nonprofit. No, he can't just bonus himself out. So let's go ahead and diagram that. Bill can not bonus himself all excess earnings. So you might say, well, what's the point then, man? Talking to, let's take Corinthian on here. Corinthian said, I wouldn't waste my time for $250,000 a year. Not worth her time. So she can't make the extra money, the extra earnings. She says she's out. But that's a short-sighted approach. It's how she collects those excess earnings. So let's go back to Bill. So Bill made his $250,000. Fine, nothing glamorous, but reasonable based on his skill set. There's money left over in his nonprofit. What can he do? He could, what? He could leave the money in the nonprofit. See, a lot of times those of you that run for profits, like DeAndre, big hitter on DeAndre, welcome. DeAndre says, I don't want money left over in my business account. I want to cash it out because I don't want my business to be taxed. Well, in a nonprofit, it doesn't work that way, as I just said. But what could Bill do with that extra money? I'm going to ask you all, what do you think Bill could do? Let's say that there was an extra 1 million left over in his nonprofit at the end of the year. You tell me, what do you think that Bill could do legally and ethically, compliant with all laws and IRS guidelines? What could he do with that $1 million? What are your thoughts? Romeo, Celino, Mr. Barker, I'm curious. What do you think he could do? What do you think he could do? Now, of course, he could put it back into the nonprofit, but I'm not really going in that direction. I'm talking about what can Bill do for Bill's best interest, Bill's financials, Bill's family. What can he do with the extra money that's left over? Because he can't bonus it out. Now, I will tell you, bonuses can be paid. That's a little bit more difficult. I don't want to say it's sketchy or gray. This guy here, a good part of his 8 million, by the way, is bonuses from the performance of the nonprofit. So it is possible, but in general, we're going to stay away from bonuses. Well, I'll tell you. What Bill could do is set up a retirement account. So now, in this example, and you can change the numbers, he has 1 million now in retirement. Still sits with the nonprofit, so he's not pulling it out, he's not putting it in his pocket, but he sets up a retirement account, and now he's got 1 million in his retirement account that can pay him after he retires or if he becomes disabled. Now, no offense, Bill, but you're a little older than most of us. Bill might not have many working years left. What happens if he has a heart attack, or like me, I have stage 4 cancer? I think you all know that. What happens when someone can't work anymore? So it could be retirement / disability payouts. So there's other reasons to have a nonprofit, but I just wanted to quickly overcome a couple misunderstandings. Number one, you can't be paid. You can. Here's proof. It's hard to form. No, we're going to do it for you, which we're going to get to in a moment. And, well, I can't earn income, so what's the point? Well, the point is, and again, I know some of you take Toily, right, down in Houston. Toily, for her to make 250,000 is a pay cut, right? Why would Toily want to do something and only make $250,000? It's not worth her time. She's a big earner, but she's overlooking the back end income. All right, so let's continue on. And then the other common misunderstanding or barrier that keeps people from wanting to form a nonprofit is, well, I don't know really what I would do. I mean, I don't want to compete with American Red Cross, right? What would I do? Well, by the way, we can set you up just like our nonprofit. What could you do? You could facilitate business startup loans as a technical advisor. You could offer free credit clinics. And as an NGO, you have the ability to develop the attestations that can force the credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, to remove all derogatories in 4 days. It's not credit repair, but as an NGO, you have power. Maybe you didn't know that. You can develop your own affiliate program. We can spend time educating. That's really probably what your mission would be. Our mission is to provide free financial literacy education. If you've not gone through our 4 modules, either shame on you for not doing it or shame on me for not pushing you to do it. You should be going through these 4 modules. We can provide you all of this so you have a turnkey nonprofit to start earning some adult income, like Craig, like Jason, like Nancy, like Bill, like Corinthian. Okay, so let's scroll on down. So we didn't know what to do. Well, and you may have your own ideas, but we can provide a turnkey. Let's plug and play. So then that takes us down to really what my pitch is to you today, quite frankly, is I think we should work together. We should form a shelf corporation for you. When? Today. and we can provide a turnkey solution. So just like our shelf corporation can be designed to form a for-profit business, did you know we can also use that same system, that same model to form a nonprofit for you that's not taxed? And all right, well, Romeo's making a good point that warrants going back. Romeo wants me to drill more into this retirement account. Okay, Romeo, you got it. So let's do it. So normally what happens when people save money, it's either taxed at the beginning or it's deferred. But normally when you save money and grow money, it's taxed either now or at distribution. How much is this money taxed as it grows through your nonprofit? It's not, because nonprofits don't pay taxes. Nonprofits don't pay federal taxes. They don't pay state taxes. They don't pay local taxes. Bill now, as a nonprofit CEO, can go buy his business vehicle in the nonprofit. He can go down to Sam's or Costco and get a card in his nonprofit's name. Every time he rings out at Sam's or nonprofit, every purchase that he makes is non-taxable. Go see Bill Biggs. He's on our training. He's got a billboard. He wears a Rolex around. He bought the fucking Rolex for $28,000 and he paid no sales tax on it. So maybe you're missing some of the details of the benefits of running a nonprofit. In addition to being mission-based, in addition to helping people, you can do really well. So that's what we'd encourage you to do. Oh, I can't afford it. Well, the Shelf Corp, as you know, it's only $1,000 out of pocket. We finance the rest, and frankly, you get to pick what the cost of the Shelf Corporation is. But you're $1,000 out of pocket. Oh, I don't have $1,000. Well, let's fix that. Then you're broke, right? Realize I'm broke. Say it out loud. I'm broke. Well, I'm going to fix broke. Come become an affiliate. What does it cost to be an affiliate? Zero. Right here, we'll teach you. You can make $1,000 today. We can start your nonprofit tomorrow, right? Oh, I don't know how to be an affiliate. There's a link here. There's this information, this information, this information, and then get started. Spend 2 to 3 hours going through this in detail. We'll get you started today. We'll start your daily deposits tomorrow. Oh, I'm running out of excuses, right? I know you and I are different than most people, but most people will just give you excuses until they're blue in the face. I'm too busy being broke. I'm too broke to have a business. I'm too broke to have a nonprofit. It's all nonsense. It's nonsense. All right, but with that, it is important to understand that when we set up a nonprofit through the Shelf Corp model, you get 3 benefits. And this is similar to what we talked about yesterday. And it's actually now on the website. It's this 3 sources of funding. So if you follow this plan, what are we going to do? We're going to guarantee you at least $100,000 of financing for your nonprofit, number 1. Number 2, we're going to give you $100,000 of collateral, which is accounts receivable, and then we're going to liquidate that. So now you're at $100,000 plus $100,000. And then thirdly, we're going to start doing $1,000 daily deposits, which matches here. Not a big deal for a lot of you. Take Jeff Walter. Jeff Walter does not get excited over $1,000 a day, but for the average person, $1,000 a day, not so bad, and it does allow you to fund your big boy salary, like Bill Biggs makes. So with that, Madison is our maestro of nonprofits. So if you have questions, who are you going to call? Not Ghostbusters. You're going to call Madison. Ghostbusters is a pretty good theme with Halloween, wasn't it? Did you catch that? But call Madison, 903-352-3390. Oh, I don't have time to call Madison. Then email her. Joseph says he called Madison yesterday. I know Madison has lots of people calling her, and so she may have to call you back. That can happen. But regardless, what is it that you need to know? What is it that we didn't cover today on today's topic? My goal was to present to you accurate and factual information why all of you, now we're at 424 on the live Zoom, why all 424 of you should form a nonprofit today. And it's crazy simple. We'll help you do it. You need help? Call Madison. What questions, comments, concerns do you have? All right, Joseph has a scenario. Joseph says that Yoon Kim wants to purchase a seasoned corporation and is willing to pay $20,000. He wants to pay $1,000 down. That's why I was trying to reach you yesterday morning. Yeah. So I can give you a call back, Joseph. That's not a problem, but we can certainly help you. But what do you need to do? So Joseph's pivoted off this. Joseph's too busy for this nonsense. He's ready to make money today, which I appreciate. Joseph, what do you need to do? You need to get him under contract. So all of you are one of two things. You're an affiliate or you're a white label partner, right? You're an affiliate or a white label partner. So we're completely off track today, but let's go ahead and make sure you know this. There's two roles. We're totally blowing the agenda out of the water, but let's focus on making money for a minute. Either you're an affiliate. What do you do as an affiliate? Refer into your landing page. From there, the closers will take care of it. You'll get paid. We'll add that and get paid. Let's make that a little wider. There's no other steps. This is all you do. So Joseph, if you're going to be an affiliate, stop getting bogged down in the details, refer them into your landing page. The big boys will take care of it and get paid. Or, which I know Joseph's not an affiliate, he is a white label partner. What do? Get client under contract for Shelf Corp. I've sent you, Joseph. Everyone should have an editable contract if you're a white label partner to contract with clients. Don't get bogged down in their backstories. Don't get bogged down with their backstories. There's only two action steps. If you're an affiliate, refer into your landing page. You'll get paid. Don't worry about anything else. Big boys will take care of it. Big boys and big girls. If you're a white label partner, stop getting bogged down in this scenario. Oh, I've got a client. He wants to start a massage parlor called Happy Endings. No one cares about the details. Get him under contract, Joseph. Get him under contract. You have the editable contract. You get him under contract, and then what are you going to do? So let's break this down. There's two steps. Get client under contract. And then collect shelf deposit from client. And that's $1,000. That's $1,000 split 50-50. We'll make that wider so it's all in one line. So Joseph, you're making it too complicated. You should not need to call us. You should follow these instructions. You got a contract we sent you with your white label partner onboarding. If you don't have it, get with Madison and we'll resend it to you. Edit that contract, the editable contract. Remove our information, put yours on it. Crazy simple, right? Put your information on it. Then have the client sign it. Normally you'd use Adobe or DocuSign. Some of you are using old-fashioned paper. I saw one come in that was a crayon. I don't care. It doesn't really matter. You manage your own sales organization. But Joseph, get them under contract and collect a deposit. Then we go to work. Then we can work. We can learn more about the client's company, Happy Ending, and we can figure out the rest. Do not get bogged down. So many of you come from a lending background and you think, well, I better go do a bunch of pre-qualification. You don't need to do the pre-qualification. The Shelf Corp will work. It's simple. Get them under contract, collect the deposit. Our team will do the implementation. Now, on that contract, Joseph, you determine how much you want to get paid, right? So you can charge the client as much or as little as you want. They'll have $1,000 out of pocket. We get financing for the rest. Okay. Corinthian asks, and Corinthian is awesome. She's a distribution partner, and she also has recently bought 2 shelf corporations. So Corinthian says, hey, one's not enough. I'm doing 2. And I think she's doing 1 for-profit and 1 nonprofit, which makes sense. So her question is, how long to get it set up? The Shelf Corp, and this is my fault, Corinthian, the Shelf Corp is a 7-day process. On the 8th day, we'll apply for funding. 7-day process, 8th day, we apply for funding. So there's your answer, Corinthian. And that's my fault that you didn't know that. I should have covered that previously. One of the most humbling things about my role is I talk to many of you and I realize how I don't do a good. I was talking to Curtis this morning. Curtis is not on the live training. Curtis said he'd never heard of Madison. It's like, oh shit, I've really dropped the ball, right? Because I thought every day, or almost every day, I'm like, call Madison, call Madison, call Madison. But I've not, according to Curtis, I've not been doing that. That's my fault. So I apologize. So what am I saying now? Call Madison. She's your first line of defense, but you don't need to call her as you're doing, Joseph, with scenarios. The scenario doesn't matter. Just determine, are you going to enroll the client as an affiliate, which means send in your landing page. The big boys and big girls will take care of the rest. You'll get paid. Or white label partnership, get them under contract, collect the deposit. Big boys, big girls take care of the rest. You get paid. All right. So what have I missed? Thank you for pulling me back on task, Joseph. So what am I missing? Well, what's the simplest summary to today's call before we wrap it up? Hey, by the way, we can form nonprofits as well as for-profits with the Shelf Corp. That's number one. And number two, hopefully we pulled back some misunderstandings on why some people think, oh, a nonprofit's not a good decision. I think every one of you should have a nonprofit, probably a for-profit as well. And that's what Greg's bringing up. Greg's saying, hey, what he can also do is have a for-profit, and he could do a transfer for services to his for-profit, FP for sure. And that's right. Yeah, so there's other ways to liquidate the extra amount. We're not accountants, we're not attorneys, we don't give legal or tax advice, but at a high level, hopefully this has given you a more full understanding of options you have. All right, with that, what do you need to do? I guess hopefully implement. We're at the last day of October. We need to, tomorrow we're going to be talking about your plans for November. We're going to ask each of you, what are your goals for November in terms of our joint relationship? Don't come to the Zoom tomorrow, no offense. Don't come if you don't plan on participating, and no offense, but don't come if you don't have a goal in mind. If you don't have a goal for the month of November, I'll say this, I'm sorry, don't come tomorrow. Because we need to work with serious people. So obviously we need to train and support and do those things we promise, but you need to perform, because otherwise you could be reading the Bible, you could be watching porn, you could be doing a lot of other things than sitting on our Zoom every day if you're not going to implement, right? You got to implement. If you don't implement, it's a waste of your time. I'm encouraging you for the month of November, let's try to implement for 1 month. Then we can go back to doing nothing in December. How does that sound? In November, let's implement. Let's help a bunch of people. Let's make a shitload of money together in November. And then we can go back to being broke or having other excuses in December. Is that fair? November will be our action month. All right. Well, thank you all. Have a great day. What are you going to do? Call Madison if you have questions. Joseph, you don't need to talk to Madison. You need to get that client under contract. You need to collect $1,000. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.